podcast. Took him a little bit to make Raptor cooperate this time for some reason, but we're up and running. I'm bringing the show notes back up. This is episode 142. Interestingly enough, TJ does not have school tomorrow for some reason, so he's lurking in the background. You might hear him at some point. I don't think he's on camera. He's not. He's currently running Everbloom in World of Warcraft. But Raptor Report. World of Warcraft. Yeah, that comes out on top. Civ 5, Terraria, and New Super Mario Bros. 2. For at least a week ago, or a couple of weeks ago. After that, we get more WoW. More Sid Meier's Starships. Now I think this is a brand new one to the Raptor Report. And with good reason. It's fairly new. I liked it though. Quite a bit actually. My butt got handed to me on the first run through. Unfortunately. But c'est la vie. I attempted a peaceful run, and peace is not rewarded, it seems. Because it just didn't pan out. Everyone ignored me, and then I lost. Fine, be that way. In the subsequent playthroughs, I've been a little more aggressive. But again, haven't fully finished another round yet. So, waiting for that. Next up, Pokemon Shuffle. So we're actually getting some new-ish games on the Raptor Report this time around. That's that free-to-play one for the 3DS, and it's actually really good.
I don't have a target.
Very good, in fact. I'm highly impressed with it. I haven't played it a lot recently, but I'm still impressed with it. Strong entry into the freemium market. And if you have a 3DS, there's no point to not check it out and give it a shot. Just to try it, you know? It's free. More Mario, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 7. And then we get into the last week to come around. More Starships, some Beyond Earth. One issue I have with the current Starships iteration is you have to play Beyond Earth to unlock things. They really should have tied it to the achievements in Steam instead. Because then, who cares? If you've already run it, you've already run it. And then you get your credit and your reward. But that's not how they decided to do it. So I've been slowly working on another playthrough of Beyond Earth so I can unlock everything for Starships. And then probably start another save of Starships. Other than that, a little bit more Mario Kart, Shuffle. Played some Mushroom Wars last weekend. Enjoyed knocking the boys around a little bit in that. He's ignoring me. Probably for the best. That's what happens when you run an instance, I suppose. And here, if you're watching the video, I have my Death Knight Irethorn running around doing some quests. But that closes out the Raptor Report. So, what about the podcast news? Well, gaming-wise, Heroes of the Storm is going to be allowing friends to invite more friends. So if you have a beta, if you're in, you can invite others in. Pretty cool, actually. They're going to kind of go for that whole viral drag your friends in, kicking and screaming thing, I guess. Overwatch, a beta has been promised, coming this fall. So if you have not signed up for the beta, better go do so. BlizzCon 2015 was announced. I have already asked off for it. He's talking about work. Yeah, I know. But it's that fine line of does not talk about work and, well, this is BlizzCon. And I'm not technically talking about work. I'm just saying I'm not going that day. Because it's BlizzCon, November 6th and 7th, if I'm recalling correctly. Black Rock Mountain Adventure has a trailer that Blizzard is promoting. It's a new Hearthstone adventure. I'm not super gung-ho about Hearthstone. Just, it's not a game for me. I think because I appreciate the social aspect of card playing. Old-timey Magic the Gathering style. And that's harder to do
I'm out of range.
when you're
It's too far away.
not even able to chat with your opponent across the table from you. They just... well, they don't have an opportunity to talk. Which makes
Isn't ready yet.
sense in a way. Just, it cuts down on trolling. It focuses just on the game, just on playing. There's some positive to doing it that way too.
I'm out of range.
There really is. I just enjoy the social aspect of tabletop, and you can't get that when you put a screen in there. Don't mind me, I'll just kill wolves. So, still in the gaming, Wowhead now has a garrison tracker feature. So, just go to the Wowhead top page. It's off on the right. And it's awesome. It's super useful. Say you haven't logged in yet today, and you want to know if Harrison Jones has a quest that you can do. There it is. Right there. You can find out what the other Garrison dailies are, like the Garrison Daily Dungeon, that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. Very cool. Shifting from Blizzard to everything else, Steam has announced a device called the Steam Link. So, streaming. Think Apple TV meets gaming. Pretty cool, really. Very cool. I don't think we'll be investing in such, but it's a very awesome seeming piece of hardware.
I need a target.
Likewise, Apple has announced a price drop on the Apple TV. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but a good segue there for that one. Sadly, EA is shuttering Maxis. Yeah, the folks that, bring you SimCity, Sims, everybody else. The Sims franchise is still fine. It's being folded over into the EA brand. But the actual people that brought you these games, they're not going to be around anymore. At least under Maxis. Not sure what I think about that, since, it was EA Origin and the failure of SimCity that I'm sure was partially responsible for this decision. And I'm also pretty sure EA is the one that said, hey Maxis, you must do it this way. And so they did, and so it wasn't as great as it could have been. So I hear, for instance, Cities Skylines is doing exceptionally well. No multiplayer. It is the SimCity that SimCity should have been, from what I hear. I have enough of my backlog. I'm not getting another game that's, open world. I have enough of these already. So, Apple had that big conference a couple of weeks ago. That's where they announced the Apple TV price drop. That's also where they announced the lightest MacBook ever. So it just one USB port, super slim, super tiny, and then you actually use the same USB port
Get something first.
to both power and connect devices. So that's kind of weird. USB-C, I believe it's called. And then, of course, finally, the Apple Watch announcement. I have a watch. I have a smartphone. I don't really see the need to smoosh the two together, especially for the price they're asking. I could buy a PS4 with that. And I wouldn't have to recharge it every 16 hours. Yeah, that's it. That's all you get. Now, to go back to that lightest MacBook ever real fast and the USB SIM-C, or USB-C drive, it's vulnerable to a security flaw. Excuse me. You'd think Apple would have thought ahead and not done a USB-C, given the potential security hole that, you can drive a truck through. So the security hole, generally you keep your Um, generally keep your power and your data access separate, naturally. Well, with this security hole, you can shove a firmware hacked power device into the USB port, and you're gonna get fried. Because it tries to access the data and install a virus at the same time. Yeah. Silly Apple. Alright. Rock Band is supposedly coming back, at least for Xbox One and PS4. So that's kind of neat. It's one of those franchises I was always curious about, but didn't actually buy into. Poor Hamby. Referring to the stream being recorded. Civilization 3, of all games, is getting an update for Steam to use the Steam means of doing multiplayer. So that's pretty cool, really, that they would do that after all this time. GameSpy, I think it was, went out of commission a while back. So this is their way of still allowing multiplayer in the current environment.
I need a target.
Pretty neat. Very appreciated. Not that I'll be probably going to Civ 3 anytime soon, but it's still appreciated. Nintendo.
I need to get close.
Yeah, there's not a too shabby backlog of news, is there? Nintendo has announced a partnership with a mobile game developer. Now, this isn't just chump change either, because they invested like 10% buying out in this company, and likewise DNA, it's like DENA or something,
Target something first.
Japanese company, bought a portion of Nintendo, like 1%. Nintendo's a heck of a lot bigger. Nintendo has promised that in this deal they are not porting. They are making new and original. I appreciate that greatly.
That's still recharging.
Now, while I don't think Mario would be poorly served to suddenly show up on my phone, I also think it would be a waste of money for Mario to suddenly show up on my phone, at least in the Super Mario Brothers variety. If they give me a Mario Endless Runner, that would be pretty cool. Maybe a Mario Endless Runner where he also gets the typical power-ups and starts shooting fireballs at times. I'm just tossing that out there as a freebie. I'm sure they've already been considering it. But they have some options,
I can't do
and
that.
it's a good thing. Very good thing. Especially in the ever-evolving market. Zelda Wii U has sadly been delayed. But what Zelda game isn't delayed? So I can't say it's a surprise, just that it's unfortunate. Now to shift gears a little bit from gaming to general news, entertainment. We have, for instance, an Alabama sheriff getting sued. Marginally funny. because this poor fellow was celebrating the purchase of his new home. And the police show up for a, noise complaint. And then they taser the owner of the home. So, yeah, I think he has a good leg to stand on for suing the Alabama sheriff there. Just kind of think so.
It's too far away.
And I just unleashed a bunch of critters that are now attacking everything in sight. Thanks, guys.
Isn't ready yet.
I did not need that.
Not ready yet.
Oh well.
I need a target.
We'll slaughter them all, right, little critters? Now, we also have a Canadian citizen being fined for not unlocking his cell phone. I really hope that Canada law takes a look at this situation and puts a stop to it. It would be just as crazy to happen here in the US, but
I'm out of range.
it's unfortunate that other countries are as crazy and stupid sometimes as we are. Though it's also reassuring, I suppose. Because they're just as crazy and stupid as we are. My phone keeps locking while I can't get to the notes. Alright. So, speaking of crazy and stupid, the New York Police Department goes around editing Wikipedia. Yes. They do. Wikipedia tracks anonymous users, or those who would like to be anonymous, so that, there's still some kind of record of who changed what, when. You can either register for a username, or just be registered as your IP. Well, a particular IP address with the New York Police Department has been going around Twitter
I need to get closer.
trying to make Twitter
It's too far away.
the police department look better. Can't fault them for it, I guess. Well, actually you can, because
I'm out of range.
it completely goes opposite of their rules. If you edit anything on Wikipedia, you are supposed to not edit if you have a conflict of interest.
I need to target
That's a
something
pretty
first.
big conflict of interest. Yeah, they probably just didn't read the terms of service, right? Yeah, no. Moving on. Age of Ultron 3 trailer is excitingly been out for a while at this point.
I need to get closer.
Yep, yours truly is a little behind on the
That spell isn't ready yet.
posts again, but not too far, only about 3 weeks. Leonard Nimoy is being honored in Star Trek Online, as he should be.
It's too far away. That's still recharging.
And so they've put up castles, statues of him. So that's cool. It's really neat, actually.
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Greatly appreciate it. Hotel Transylvania 2 has been announced. Another one. The trailer's really neat, though. I think it's going to be fun, even though it is kind of a rehash, overkill. I mean, let's perhaps make something new and original. Maybe. Guys? Maybe. Nah. Who needs new and original? That's just silly talk, right?
You need something? Farewell.
Yeah, I got another follower. And Ed decided to start playing music, so I had to stop that real fast. I apologize if it bled over into the feed. So that's complete now. Let's ride our way out of here and go get another follower. While we're riding, we unlock the phone again. I mentioned the Apple TV price drop, but HBO Go and Apple are teaming up. So they're going to be the first you must have a cable subscription partnership to occur. Cool. Not that I really watch HBO that much, but it's nice to see television waking up to the fact that they need the internet. And they need the internet in a big way. Another Star Wars movie has been announced. So this is kind of an independent Star Wars movie. It's called Rogue One. That's about all we know. I would assume it's about Rogue Squadron, but that's still just an assumption. We really don't know. X-Files is set to return for a mini-series, basically. 6 episodes. It's still X-Files, though. Huzzah! We have, in the current day and age, there is a massive amount of copyright infringement. Blizzard, for instance, is going after a Here's the Storm-ish game that, you know, the characters look like little cutesy versions of their properties. So it's time to go after them. Do I see a rare up here? Neat. Hi, rare.
I can't attack that. I can't attack that target.
I want to kill the rare. There we go. Get ready to kill the rare while they yell at each other, I guess. There we go. Hi, Mr. Rare. So, this game company goes in pretty much point blank copies this poor artist's storyline. Oh, that's where I get that. Cool. Fortunately, after being called out and it going slightly viral online, they've pulled back. They are not publishing anymore the game. It's off of the App Store and whatnot. So, at least they ended up doing the right thing. It's just a shame that they hoped nobody would notice, as opposed to just doing the right thing in the first place and not copying somebody else's work. Okay, how about something creepy? Mall of America was going around. Back around Christmas, there was a protest in Mall of America. And Mall of America was going and friending people on Facebook who were talking about this
It's
thing.
too far away.
And then getting their information. Figuring out, hey, are these, individuals a threat? So, just another one of those cautionary tales of know the people you friend on Facebook. I mean, seriously, just know them. That's all you need to do. Excuse me. Indiana has passed a quote-unquote religious freedom bill. So what this bill allows businesses is to encourage them to post outside their business
I'm
if
out of
they
range.
serve any particular group of individuals.
I need to go closer. Not ready yet. I can't test that yet.
Gen Con has come out and said, bad Indiana, no cookie for you, no nerds for you. They are threatening, once their contract expires, to pull out. Unless the bill gets repealed. Good on them. Quite a few other companies are doing the same. Or at least threatening angrily. Yelling at them. So, it's going to get fixed, hopefully. We can hope, at least. We have...
It's too far away. I'm out of range. That's still recharging. That's the day that we're ready.
That little gnome stole my kill. Little punk. And he is also a Earlist. Interesting. Jerk. Oh well. We will wait for it to respawn. As I attempt to unlock my phone yet again. There we go. So, false memories have been implanted into mice. They access the mice brain there, and
I need to do
that's that. A little disturbing.
I can't do that yet.
And it's not easily applicable to people
That spell
yet,
isn't ready
by
yet.
any stretch of the
That's still
imagination.
recharging.
We're going to have to go quite a ways for that. Can't really carve somebody's head open without them noticing, after all. But it's basically a really advanced hypnotic suggestion, and then the mouse goes to, say, that place, and is expecting cheese, let's say. You're expecting a positive reward for going to that place, even though before, in real life, it's actually a negative place to go. So the brains are getting manipulated. Harrison Ford was in stable condition at the time of this news article. I would hope he's better and out at this point. Windows 10 has been announced for the summer. I'm a little wary of Windows 10 personally, just because I don't know how well it'll work with Boot Camp. My setup is a Mac with Windows 8 on it. And then, of course, Mac on the other side. So, just don't know how it'll shake out yet. So we'll wait and see. I hear myself saying that a lot, it seems, but it's a wise thing to do, to wait and see. Hey, I'll use that new wind thing I got. Where is it? Where's the wind thing? There it is. Land right on some frostweave. Excellent. Into the cave we go. So, probably won't be upgrading immediately to Windows 10, at least on the main computer. But we'll probably annoy Red Flare a little bit by upgrading her computer for free to Windows 10, for instance, rather than 7. Just, it's free. If the computer can run it, why not? Now we have the Iron Horde Nerzul introduction on why the Shadow Moon clan are joining. And we're almost out of news items.
But they asked of him a heavy price. They said,
So, how about this little politic tech thing? A homeowner can't get broadband due to a lack of competition. Net neutrality has a huge problem. So, this guy, he did the same thing that we did when we were home shopping. Is there high-speed internet? Because if there's not, no deal. I'm sorry, but it's super important.
by breaking this stone, he forswore all
Comcast says, oh yeah, we service that area, no problem. He calls to get it hooked up and finds out that, lo and behold, there's no cable hookup for his house. I mean, honestly, I would think that'd be something you should really go and check for before signing the papers, yourself. I remember us contacting a cable company and asking them point blank, do you service this? Have you hooked up here before? Of course, they also said yes to the guy when he called him. So, not much you can do when the cable company lies to you, I suppose. But they refused to drop a cable to his house. And since they were the only provider for his area, he's pretty much out of luck. Out and about, you should always know where the USB device has come from that you are plugging into your computer. Aside from the USB-C vulnerability that I talked about earlier, there is a killer USB device. It takes the electricity that, makes it so I can plug this headset straight into a USB port and be able to both hear and talk and get it picked up. Well, there is no path runner. Oh well. But it has batteries on it. Charges up the batteries and then lets them loose and at least fries that port. So, I have no idea why somebody thought of that, but know where your USB drive that you're about to shove into the computer came from, fully. I mean, before you had to just worry about viruses, now you have to worry about somebody frying your hardware. How evil can you get? Uber is set to start sharing data with the hotel chain. With a hotel chain. So, I'm coming from the airport to a hotel. Hey, this hotel is linked to Uber. Why not? Already knows my information, has my payment stuff on file. Yeesh. No thank you. Bad Uber. Bad. No cookie. Finally, Robert Downey Jr., the man who plays Iron Man, presented to a boy a bionic arm. The bionic arm itself was designed and 3D printed by a college student. And it's just a really awesome clip. It's going to be in the show notes. Go enjoy it. Just for a moment.
Welcome.
Because it is awesome. It's heartwarming. It's appreciated. But with that, episode 142 of the FFdotnet podcast is concluded. So, thank you for joining us. We'll see if I'm regular yet or not. I mean, kind of built up some stories first. So, have a good evening. Podcast FlameFlash.net. If you are needing anybody, wanting to send in questions or comments, that kind of thing. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.